Oh,
I remember I used to start all of this by singing along to what it was and saying, I forgot that this show was just us two for a while.
it was. I mean, it seems like eons ago, but it was, and it was a harder intro. It wasn't as swingy as that. We had some electric guitar but
hey everybody, how's it going? It's
yeah.
another Wednesday evening hangout, and it's time to talk with Russ and Zach. I don't remember the actual song, but I think that was the beat that I used to sing to.
Yeah, I think you hit it. Oh man. But yeah, it's I see Brad in the chat saying congratulations on the new hardware gang, and that's where Bob and Scott are out receiving some accolades, but it's really accolades for everybody involved. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty.
Fantasy Sports Business of the Year presented to Fantasy Cares. And while technically it's us that's on there, I mean, we are nothing without all of you. So this is an award for all of you as well. Thank you so much to everyone that ever even spoke the words Fantasy Cares into reality. Is just so, I mean, Bob texted us the picture of who we were up against, and
yeah, you've heard of them.
The fact that we belong on that list isn't real. The fact that we won this, it's only real because I see the picture. Like, if he didn't send the picture, I don't think I would have believed it.
Well, and to me, it really is, and you said it's everybody. It's the culmination of what this all does and what this all means, because it really is about the reach of the entire community and the power of the entire community coming together and doing all of these great things. Because without it, we're 8-7 people hanging out, talking about wanting to do good, but with everybody that donates, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's a retweet or a repost or a mention or whatever it is, telling somebody about Fantasy Cares, and like that's really the crux of everything.
Yeah, and it's just flabbergasting. My guest is flabbered. Like, I don't know. Like, that's so cool.
It's always, though, to me, interesting to be recognized for something you'd be doing anyway. And I had that, like, that was the when I had to give my Hall of Fame speech for baseball, and I was like, look, and it's very similar where like this is something we would be doing because the amount of good we can do and the want, almost need, but the want to pay that forward and help people out is something we'd all be doing anyway. I mean, it is. And so to be recognized for that is kind of, it's hard to kind of wrap your mind around. I mean, they're right. Fantasy Cares is amazing.
Yes.
You're not going to hear any argument from me, but it's amazing because of so many people doing something that they want to be doing, want to be donating, want to be doing good, want to be helping out people who are less fortunate or don't have as much, or whatever the case may be to the charity that we're donating to. It's hard for me to wrap my head around that part. Not around the part that Fantasy Cares is amazing, because it is. It always has been. Even back when Scott was raising $7,000 or $6,000, back and back. It was still amazing then, and it's just gotten better because we've got more more people involved and a bigger community surrounding it.
Yeah, it's so cool. And again, thanks to all of you for helping us get to where we are, because it's nothing without all of you. So my son, to completely change topics, almost got grounded for the first time ever.
Uh-oh. Nolan, what'd you do?
So we're playing Mario Party, and I just straight up whoop him in a mini game.
Which one? Because we do family game night Mario Party too.
I don't remember exactly which one it was, but this is the new Mario Party Jamboree.
Oh no, I don't have that one. We're not there yet.
Yes, it came out a couple of months ago. But my son turns, looks at me, and says "GG's" for good game. But then he does this and gives me a thumbs up. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, and I literally grab his hand and I go. He sticks his knuckles out to give me a thumbs up. I'm like, you don't. I know you were not there for my rant about the middle finger. I don't say this to him.
I was. Yeah, yeah.
Nolan. Like Nolan was not there for the rant I had about the. Like, really, you're sticking your knuckles out for a thumbs up? No, that's not how we do things in this family. Like, what is this? This isn't a thumbs up. This is a thumbs up. You don't.
That's awesome. I'm going to start doing this from now on. I love it. Nolan is a trendsetter.
He's something, all right. He almost got grounded so hard, but the second he was just like, okay, crazy person. But it was just so funny that, like, so shortly after my rant about the middle finger thing and all the knuckles sticking up, he gives me this weird thumbs up, which is like, you're doing this on purpose. Like, it almost gave me this face. It's like, I know this is going to piss off my dad. Like, someone told him how annoyed I was about the middle finger.
It's the American education system. We no longer teach cursive, and we no longer teach thumbs up. We failed.
Basic sign language. That's all I'm saying. Knuckles in, fingers all the way curled, fist with a thumb.
I feel like if Bob were here in like 20 minutes, would have a Knuckles in Russ t-shirt.
The knuckles were in. They were in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, those two guys, clearly Scott and Bob, not here because they are still in Vegas receiving such awards. What is Fantasy Sports Gaming Association? I wasn't sure what the G was for, but it's for gaming.
Yeah, the FSGA. That's big time.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much like the paragon of fantasy sports.
So we don't have Scott here, who's our usual topic roller. So if anyone has anything they want to talk about or us to talk about, please in the chat let us know.
I've got a few things. You're going to notice a pattern because it's me, and a lot of it's going to be food. But I just saw, and I haven't tried them yet, that they have a new Post Malone Oreo cookie.
Yes, I couldn't tell. Like, I saw pictures of them. It was John Solis posted about them.
Yeah,
he was literally just buying a stack of them, and I zoomed in, but I couldn't see what the flavor was. It looked like it was a swirl. It's
a taste twist swirl with salted caramel and shortbread. The bottom cookie is a golden Oreo, and the top cookie is a regular Oreo. And I haven't decided whether or not that sounds like my jam, but probably not, because every time they come out with all the flavors, I'll try it, and then I go back to eating sleeve of double stuffed Oreos in a bowl with milk and a spoon.
There are lots of the special flavors that I like that are good, but none of them you could eat like you could eat regular Oreos.
Yeah. I need double stuff though. I can't do. I know.
It throws off the ratio.
But see, I need the double stuff. I need that sweet. I need the extra sweet. The cookie is not the draw for me.
See, like I know you say you eat it like in a bowl of milk, right? Like
Oh,
you eat it straight
absolutely.
up
Yeah.
cereal.
Yeah.
Like so it all just turns to mush anyway. So
Well, no, because you've got to eat them quick enough so it doesn't, and
oh
the
see, I
and the
let it turn to mush. Like
and the stuff holds it together.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what you do is you take a fork, shove the fork into the stuff, and you put the fork into the milk.
I see Steve says double stuff is the only way to go. I hate to be pedantic, but it's only one F in stuff. That's how many Oreos I've consumed.
He knows. Oreo thins really are like a waste of time. They're
Yeah.
like the biggest tease in the world. There's no real point to that whatsoever. But no, like that's how I eat my Oreos. You take the fork, you stick it into the stuff, you drop it in. What I like to do is you take a cookie first, put it in, and then you use the fork with the cookie on it to shove it down to the bottom, because one of the best parts of Oreos and milk is drinking the milk afterwards that has all the pieces of cookie that fell off.
Yes.
So I purposely throw one in there to break apart.
I like the fork. I like the fork idea, but it's just it doesn't have the same like I need to be in the bowl with the Oreos with the spoon, pour the milk on.
I need to be honest. I've literally never seen a real human being eat Oreos like they do in the commercials.
How do they
Like
the twist and
twist, lick.
yeah.
Like
Nah.
I've literally never seen anyone actually do that. See, like unless you're eating it like straight up cereal like Zach does, the spoon just doesn't do enough. Like the fork, at least, like you have complete control over what's going on. Yes, if you leave it in too long, it falls apart. Where if you have the spoon, you can just scoop. But still, like a spoon, there's just not enough control over what you're doing. The fork is nice and easy. You have it all skewered. It's all stuck there. Just and plus, it's like they're like, you're supposed to eat ice cream with a fork. Like that's the right way to eat it.
I'm not technologically advanced enough to screen share, but that's the right way to do it.
Yeah. Here, Frank saying, I'm assuming he means the twist and lick. Aram saying that he had a twist and lick phase.
So
it's not about it's like, see, to me, like, I don't want one of those parts. If they're not together, it's not an Oreo.
Yeah. When I was like younger, I'm not sure that I don't know when the double stuff came out, but I know that I didn't get double stuff until I was probably in high school.
Yeah, it was pretty late.
And so what I would do would be create my own double stuff where I would twist off, and then if you did it right, you'd have some that the stuff was loose, and so you could take like the second cookie that you had stripped of the top and press them together, and then peel that one off, and then you could get like a triple stuff sometimes. I would do that back in the day, and then double stuff came along, and I was like, I'm lazy. I don't have to do all that. I can just buy the double stuff.
I know it's a meme, or at least like an internet joke where the top cookie is an O, the inside's called a re, and the bottom, like the cookies are O, and the stuffing is a re. So like my son shows up, he goes, "Hey Dad," I go, "What?" He goes, "Or re O." And he had an Oreo like this thick because all he did was open them up, scrape off the stuff, and just stack them, and it was like 5-6 cookies worth of stuff.
One thumb up.
Yeah. It was Oreo.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, Wilson says Oreo milkshake, which also sounds delicious. But Russ is getting a banana peanut butter. So
give me a banana Oreo milkshake. I'll absolutely drink that.
I thought of you yesterday, and this is a second piece of food talk, but we went to Gelato Fiasco, which is the local gelateria. They do something awesome for the schools around. So, and last night was our school district, but they give 75% of the money they take in for the day to the school.
Oh yeah, we have an ice cream place near us that does that.
And so we went last night, and Caleb's principal was scooping gelato, and so he was like, we have to go. And I'm like, you don't eat gelato. And he's decided. So we got there and they had horchata, which was like cinnamon, and that, which is a flavor that Caleb will do, and vanilla. And so he ended up getting a horchata gelato and ate probably a third of it, maybe a half of it. Like, really impressive for, I know that most of the chat doesn't know my son, but like, he is very limited in what he'll eat, and has textural issues, and gelato is not on the preferred foods list. But he absolutely crushed it last night. But I thought of you because I got Italian banana pudding and then got a peanut butter. It was like a peanut butter brittle or peanut brickle or what, and then just put them together. And I was like, Russ would be very happy.
Yes, he would. Peanut butter banana is such a good combination.
It is. It is. I usually go, they didn't have orange. Usually I get some type of orange gelato or sherbet, and then on either side I'll do chocolate, because like my jam is chocolate and orange,
which is still so weird to me.
I don't know, just how it happens, but like I dig it.
Frank says, I'm now picturing Zach in high school, and I'm picturing Billy Madison when he drives up to high school in the Firebird and the Def Leppard t-shirt.
My Ford Taurus with the cloth top.
Oh, yeah. Best dessert with Oreos is putting an Oreo in the bottom of a muffin cup, topped with cheesecake mix, topped with fruit bake, mini cheesecake with Oreo crust. That does sound lovely.
You're not hurting me with that, Dan.
That sounds wonderful. Like, I've had Oreo cheesecakes where it's, like crushed up Oreo is the crust, and it's like a cream cheesecake with Oreos on top and stuff like that. But I've never had
done the mini ones.
Yeah, it's like a little, that's a. Do they just make cheesecake mix, or do you have to make that too? Because that sounds like a lot of work.
I've never done cheesecake from mix. It's always been like cream cheese and like sugar and.
Oh man, if you could, it was so funny, how Scott was so surprised and in love with the idea that you could just buy cannoli dip. If you could just buy cheesecake in a pouch, I would literally just I'm picturing it in a piping bag where I would just
See, now you got me going back to my grandmother, my dad's mom, we would go every weekend. We would drive. It was like 250 miles, and we would leave on Friday night after school, and we would drive down to their house, and then on Sunday we would drive back. But when we would get there, she would always make custard pie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my favorite, but I did not like her crust. My other grandmother makes amazing crust, but Gramdell was a great cook, great baker, everything. Her pie crust was terrible.
Oh.
And so she would make me a bowl of just the custard. So it's kind of like having the cannoli, the inside of the dip or the cheesecake, but it was just a bowl of custard. And oh man, sign me up. I miss it.
Yeah, Reebok Joe. That's actually how the Post Malone Oreos was how this entire conversation just began. So no, we haven't tried it yet, but we're super interested in the idea of them. Whoops.
I can't bake.
But can either of you bake?
Not to save my life.
Trish can make cookies and brownies and certain pies. My mother-in-law can do all of this stuff, but she is too lazy to make her own pie crust. She will always buy pie crusts because she's like, why? Theirs is good. Why should I bother to do all that work?
See, I can't bake. Baking is too much of a science for me. It's too restricted because you have to measure.
Yes.
And you have to put things in
the right order. You have to measure and then scrape the top so it's exactly, that half a cup that you need.
And it's, it's one of those things where you transpose the baking powder and the baking soda, and then all of a sudden it doesn't rise the way it's supposed to, and it's a brick, or it's I'm always in awe and envious of people who can bake, and I like to cozy up to people who can bake. They're some of my favorite people because I like to eat baked goods. I can make that. The one thing I've learned how to make that I am very good at is my grandmother's pie crust, like the one who could make good pie crust. And so I have her recipe, and I can make a pie crust. I usually do it savory, like I usually will do like a chicken pie or something like that. Occasionally I'll do apple pie, but my wife is not rich. She doesn't really like cooked fruit, so like it limits my ability to make pies.
Yeah.
So, but
Zach, have you ever had Terry's chocolate orange?
that's a thing. Like that was always in the bottom of my stocking at Christmas time. Is probably what got me on the chocolate orange kick, because it's the one where you break it and it comes off in individual slices, and then you've got the middle that had all the slices hooked to it, so you get but yes, I have, Greg, and I really like them.
Crust makes the pie. Yes, crust is very important when it comes to pie.
It is.
When I drag you guys to Chicago one day, we're getting Culver's custard. Okay.
Done.
Okay. Joey Wright saying he's never had a bowl of custard. Then you haven't lived, my good man.
I wish I could. Like, my grandmother's passed, so I can't do that for you, Joey. But if I would have invited you to her house, I mean, she would have done that.
If they'd come up with Oreo and Reese's combo, that would be awesome. I mean, they do have peanut butter Oreos, which was very early on in the special ones, and it's fine. It's definitely not Reese's peanut butter. It's still very sugary peanut butter flavored, but it's good enough in a pinch. Yes, that's the reason Gregel's wife won't bake. Too many rules. And it's like, it's not even that there's rules, it's rules you have to follow.
Yeah, it's literally a science. We're like, cooking, you can go in and kind of figure out what you need and taste it, and it will come out right. You can, if you make a mistake, you can kind of salvage and balance. If you get something too salty or too acidic, you can balance it out. You can cut it with something sweet, or but when you're baking it just is what it is. Like, you either did it right and it came out great, or it just is not didn't happen. But
Reebok Joe, I learned how to make creme brulee. Wow.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that I made for my wife when she was pregnant for the first time. She was craving creme brulee. And I'm like, they're like, there's not a place where I can go get that here. And so it was, again, you make an egg cut basically, and then the sugar layer and with either the torch. I have a pretty good broiler with my oven, and so I did that. It probably didn't come out as good as Joe's, but it was passable. I'm still married, so that it worked out.
Dan Yan, I had to learn to bake. Kids are little bites muffin fiends, but they just don't. Oh man, I love those, but they are so fake. They really, really are. The little bites, they're awful, but they're delicious. They're awful, but delicious.
That's impressive, Dan, though, that you learned to do that, specifically for that reason. Like, for me, cooking, like, that's a side benefit.
Yeah.
Of cooking, is that I don't eat a whole bunch of processed foods. I'm making everything. Like, it's the old shop around the outside of the grocery store. Like, that's pretty much what I do, unless I'm buying Cheerios for Caleb. But like, that's impressive to be disciplined enough to bake and make it well enough for your kids to eat it as well.
Paul saying, my wife didn't crave anything when she was pregnant with our daughters, but with her sons, it was Arby's market fresh sandwiches and pizza buffets.
Huh.
when Trish was pregnant with Nolan, with our son, it was bacon and eggs. She always she would wake me up at 2 a.m. and just be like, hun, first breakfast. I'd be like, okay. Throw some bacon and eggs in a pan. And like, I was not sad about it. Like, I got to eat bacon and eggs at 2 a.m. I was not sad about it.
No, that seems like a win.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
cooking them at 2 a.m, it's a push, but like eating them is a win.
Oh, it's so easy. Like eggs, all you got to do is move them around. Like, well, mix them together in a bowl and then move them around in the pan so they don't burn. Like, that's all you got to do. And it's the same thing with bacon. All you got to do is just keep moving it around, and then you get to save the bacon grease for all the delicious stuff. So you could do with that afterwards.
See, I'm such a scrambled egg snob. I would be. It takes me a long time to make scrambled eggs because you do them like lower. And they end up with
that gives you fluffier eggs, but I'm far too lazy for that. Just throw a little bit of milk in it and it's fine.
They end up so like creamy, like so smooth. Yeah. If you do them slow and you just kind of keep folding them in and but I mean, like I'm not going to turn down bacon and eggs at 2 a.m, Russ, if you cook them. But like if I were going to cook them, it would take a little bit longer.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Even if in my normal life I did take my time with the eggs, I would not be doing that at 2 a.m. Frank is saying Entenmann's and Little Debbie's are the top mountain for my childhood. Oh, Entenmann's, those chocolate chip cookies are top notch. And I don't even like chocolate all that much, but their little mini chocolate donuts, the chocolate frosted donuts, are so good.
So I don't know if I've ever even heard of Entenmann's.
Really?
Let alone had them. Yeah. No, we had Mrs. Fields.
Oh, yeah, no, we have Mrs. Fields too, but Entenmann's is just,
I believe you.
In the market, you just go and get some Entenmann's.
I don't know. I never had Entenmann's. Never heard of Entenmann's.
It never would have occurred to me that was regional.
I mean, it may not be. I just may be like really provincial. I mean, I grew up in northern Maine. It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there.
Oh, I absolutely gained baby weight. I comfort ate with her. I did not want her to be alone. And it was my honor to eat alongside her.
I got an extra 40 from Harrison. Caleb was not too bad because I was still pretty active. But
Reebok Joe, my daughter's mom craved pickles and ranch. I bought 5-gallon buckets of pickles and gallons of. Oh my god, that sounds so gross. So gross.
I'd be needing to make sandwiches.
I'm so glad that Trish does not like pickles or ranch.
Oh, see, she wouldn't. I saw Steve way earlier ask about dinner tonight, and Trish wouldn't have been down for dinner tonight. So necessity is the mother of invention, but hunger, I think, hunger is like the crazy aunt. And so I was sitting there and I was making burgers for Harrison, and I was trying to figure out what we were going to do for dinner. And I had a pizza dough that I made in the fridge, and I was like, well, I got to use that. And so I was like, well, I've got a couple of seasoned burger patties that I haven't cooked yet. So I decided I would break them up, cook them in the pan. I did the dough, did ketchup and mustard, and you mix that together. Okay. Did the hamburger, and then I cut up pickles, did that on top, and then did like regular pizza cheese, so like provolone, mozzarella, and then took white American cheese, like on a burger, put that on top, sliced up onions, put that on the very top, and then sprinkled sesame seeds around the crust, and did a cheeseburger pizza tonight.
So you made like a cheeseburger stromboli. Oh, did you fold it over?
Oh no, I didn't fold it. I just left it straight. It was a pizza. And
so like that's the makings of a perfect stromboli.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. And I was like, I had no idea what I was going to do tonight. My youngest son and we went to a high school basketball tournament game today. And so like I just was, I wasn't locked in tonight when we got home, but we made do. We got there.
It definitely did. Steve started putting A1 on his scrambled eggs, and it's been a game changer. So good.
I like
I was,
hoisin.
well, hoisin's good. Hoisin's
Yeah.
just good. I've never thought to put that on eggs, but hoisin is just good.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of A1. I guess I've never tried it on anything but steak, and I don't put sauce on steaks.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like unless it's like those fancy
Yeah, like you get a bechamel or
beef bourguignon, stuff like that. Like the stuff you get at fancy that places are
Au
way too
poivre,
fancy. Yeah. None of it's in English. But
the beurre,
I
a butter sauce.
give me some sriracha or some hot sauce and I'm good. Like I don't even need to put anything on eggs. Just put some cheese on it and I'm good.
Mm.
Entenmann's was distributed by Hostess. I didn't know that.
That's the stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Like that wasn't. I mean, I'm sure that it's around here. Hostess is around here, but
it's really funny that you even say this. Like, yes. This is how when we had the conversation of how many kids we wanted, I literally said, I play man defense. I do not play zone defense. I do not want more than 2 children. And my wife, who knows nothing about sports, just stared at me blankly. And I'm like, there's 2 of us. There's 2 of them. We can handle that. If there's 2 of us and 3 of them,
it's penalty kill all the time.
Doesn't have a person, and that's not how I play. Yeah. And she nowadays will say we don't play zone defense, and I'm just like, I love you. I love you so much.
It's penalty kill all the time if you have 3.
Exactly, right?
But there's no icing, so that's good. You know,
just chuck the baby down to the other side of the ice. Oh man, Joe's dad was a bread delivery man for Hostess.
Oh, that would be so dangerous. I got the opposite. Both my parents were English teachers, so I speak very well. But like beyond that, I know how to use an Oxford comma, but I did not get snack cakes.
Ooh. Did the sauce turn out? I guess this means on your cheeseburger pizza.
Oh, it was great. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was literally it was ketchup and mustard, and I just mixed it, and it like that whatever I think it that and the pickles, like that combination, just screams cheeseburger.
Oh yeah,
awesome! It's so good.
I mean, pickles are gross, but I get what you're saying.
I thought I could get away with it. Scott's not here.
I'm not a pickle person.
That's all right. I'll eat them. We're good.
I can see A1 going on a cheesesteak. I guess I can see that a little bit more than going on a real steak, like on an actual steak, but going on like a cheesesteak with peppers, onions, and even if there is cheese, I think throwing some A1 on there would be okay.
I prefer Worcestershire to A1 just as a flavor.
I don't know if I've ever just put Worcester on top of things. Like I know Worcester is part of sauces, but I've never just put Worcester on something.
Yeah, but I mean, like I don't put A1 on a steak either. But like that, like I prefer the flavor of Worcestershire to A1. I don't know. That's a non sequitur. It's just I stalled everything.
You don't gotta sauce your steak. If your steak is cooked right, you don't need to sauce your steak. You can. Not shaming anyone for saucing their steak unless you're putting ketchup on it, in which case that you're just doing wrong. But see, that's the thing.
No,
if you grew up eating shitty steak, A1 was the thing.
Yeah. And like for the longest time for me, like I hated like steak, chicken, like any protein, my mother would cook it till it was shoe leather.
Yeah.
And so like I thought that was what meat was. And so I didn't eat it for the longest time. And then I got to college, and because I'm a huge nerd, I was either playing baseball or I was watching like Iron Chef.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized that you could actually cook things without ruining them.
Yes.
And so I started cooking when I was in college. I had an apartment. And we had like there were an apartment building with 3 stories, and we had like 4 baseball players had apartments in that building, and so like I cooked for the baseball team.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
A1 mixed with maple syrup is great wing sauce. I mean, I would try it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of like the idea when I do the candied bacon, where I do hot
Yeah,
sauce and maple. I mean, sounds similar.
pretty similar. Provolone or whiz. It's two completely different sandwiches. Like sometimes you're in the mood for like a provolone, sometimes you're in the mood for just that
I
garbage
want.
cheese
I'm
whiz.
in, I'm in the mood for provolone all the time. I don't have a cheese whiz mood.
Oh, I do. Like there's some times where that's just what you need, and sometimes you have to just settle for American cheese, which isn't the same, but you know, it's the closest to fake cheese that you well, American cheese is fake cheese, but
Yeah.
salsa on eggs is legit. Give me some huevos rancheros, I'm in.
So yeah, whiz is the best. I will come. Is Joe in Philly? I assume he's in Philly. If we're like
We're
cheese
talking
whizzing,
whiz, maybe, I'm guessing, yeah.
I will come. I'm going to be there to the Philly live draft. I hope the Scott Fish Bowl, but somebody from there point me in the right direction. I'm never going to turn down food, and I'm
Yep.
sure I will like it, but it's not something that I am going to choose on my own without somebody directing me toward.
It really is a very different experience having a liquid cheese as
Yeah.
opposed to a provolone. It's very, very different. Amazon brand Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire, Worcestershire sauce.
Welcome to Worcester, $1.25, please.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, you never need to be sad for bringing up old Adam Sandler. Fried, yes, fried egg on burgers is absolutely the way to go.
Yep, with the runny
Yep,
yolk.
you
So
gotta leave the yolk a little run. Yes,
Yep.
bite into it and just.
Yep.
Has anyone had the warm butter cake at Del Frisco's? I've been to Del Frisco's, but I've never had a warm butter cake. Del Frisco's is a steakhouse. There's at least one in New York City that I've been to.
I'm going to Google the nearest one to Maine, and that because a warm butter cake sounds amazing.
My mom would overcook the pot roast too. We called it spider meat.
Yeah, we call it stringy meat. Same thing. Oh, it was awful.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Provolone is the vanilla of cheese.
You can get good provolone though. You can get like a nice smoked provolone that has got a little bit of body to it. I mean, It's obviously not like as adventurous as a lot of other cheeses, but it gets you by on a sandwich.
Very staple sandwich cheese.
It's great in again like a pizza cheese mix where you get like mozzarella, provolone, and like something else because it doesn't melt quite the same as mozzarella, so it's still got a little bit of like bite to it.
Yes,
like body to it. It's
the same thing with like on an Italian sandwich where there's both mozzarella and provolone as well. Like provolone is usually a cheese you mix with other things. It's not just something you don't just have like a turkey and cheese where the cheese is provolone. That's not usually what you do. Joe is apparently from Vegas, not from
Vegas. It'll be harder for me to get out to Vegas, but that could happen.
I mean, if there's any place besides Philly where they're going to have whiz, they're going to do it right in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, there's food from everywhere in Vegas.
You don't have to apologize, scampers. We're just glad you're here. Fun SFB history question. What's the record for most live drafts attended in a year? Bosch did at least 3 or 4 last year. Bob did, again, at least 3 last year. I did 2. Scott did at least 2. I mean, it's not that high of a number.
Scott did Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So he did Vegas, Boston, and Minnesota, at least.
Oh, and Denver.
Oh, so yeah, Scott wins. Weird.
Bosch did Cincinnati and Nashville. I think he also
did Orlando. Cleveland, right? Didn't he drive up to Cleveland?
I don't remember.
He did, because I watched. He did Cleveland, like he drove up to Cleveland and then drove back down. He did 2 in one day because he had Ryan with him.
Well, it wasn't one day, but it was right after. I think that was Cincy and Nashville. They drove down to Nashville.
I'm pretty sure he did Cleveland too, because I think he emceed up there. Yeah, he was all over the place. We were checking in with him on the podathon.
Yeah. Oh, see, like this is what I meant when I said like that Vegas would do Philly, because some dude from Philly went to Vegas,
yeah, absolutely,
and calls it something straight from Philly. Like that is exactly what I was picturing. I am not eating a sandwich with liquid cheese. Trust me, man. Just the way it settles in between all of the chopped up steak is just so perfect. It's so good. It's just
the only thing I've ever had that I want no part of again is pickled tripe. Like everything else, feed me. Like I'll eat.
Yeah, I think Scott did 4 also.
Yeah.
At least. I don't think he did 6. I think, what did we say? Minnesota, Boston, Denver, and Vegas.
He didn't get out to LA last year.
I think there was something with his plane tickets or something that he couldn't go to LA last year.
Yeah. I know that people were having issues flying into Boston because that was the same weekend that we had the the outage where like a security company got breached. Yeah. You remember that
Yeah, this was on their way to Nashville, was when they were in a car, because that's where they were driving down to Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott did miss LA this year. Yes, he wears a hooded, protective hoodie when he goes outside in the sun because of how fair-skinned he is.
Oh, that Vegas, yeah.
We have Philly's best here in SoCal, and they fly in Whiz, the bread, and Wise. Is Wise Chips regional?
I don't know. We have Wise Chips up here. Humpty Dumpty is the regional brand up here, I think. Yeah, that's a main like Humpty Dumpty potato chips.
The Humpty Dance is your chance to
and they service like parts of Canada too, and so you can get like the all dressed and the ketchup chips, which you can't usually get in the States, but because that's really a Canada thing.
What's all dressed?
It's like it has everything on it, like ketchup and salt and vinegar, and I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh,
I will look up exactly what it is, Russ, for you.
Thank you.
I just know it's a lot of flavor at once.
Yeah, it was 115 degrees in Vegas. But it was a dry heat, I'm sure. That conversation from last week. No, that still sounds awful. Imagine what a porch pillow in Vegas is, a fire pillow instead of an ice pillow.
I can send some to you. I get Instacart wants to send you some all dressed chips.
Hey, flavored potato chips. Let's go. Yeah.
But it looks like they have ketchup, barbecue sauce, ranch, salt and vinegar.
Oh, so it's like
everything, all the flavors. All dressed. Yeah. Yep.
That sounds overwhelming.
It is, but it's also really good. It's a kick in the mouth, but really good.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Brad. Hope you enjoy your Oreos and have a good night. Don't eat too many. We don't want you getting a bellyache. We don't want you waking up in the middle of the night.
Were we talking food?
Oh,
I missed it. I mean,
it's all a bit of a blur.
It was mostly fantasy football.
Probably. So was your hamburger pizza, is that what you had tonight?
Yes. Yeah. It was delicious.
I had McDonald's.
How was that? What'd you get?
I went
What's your
nuggets.
ah,
My usual is a quarter pounder with cheese meal, no pickles because pickles are gross. Take off the bun, throw some fries on there.
I, I've been trying to be really good about McDonald's because the Caleb will eat the fries.
Yeah.
And so like McDonald's is a reasonably innocuous go-to for like, all right, we got to find something quick. I can get Caleb fries. Harrison will do like McDoubles with no pickles.
Yep.
Fine. I find that I have to be really disciplined and just get a quarter pounder because if not, I'm going to get like the quarter pounder meal. I'm going to have it large. I'm going to have fries. I'm going to have a soda, which I don't really drink soda,
I
but
had
like,
something today.
yeah. And then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to add nuggets to this because you might as well. And I got to have sweet and sour sauce. And you know what? Let's throw a McChicken in. So like you end up, and I'm like, but I don't want to eat any of that. It just is like,
Oh, see, I want to eat it. I just can't do it anymore. I ended up going with a McNugget meal, and like that's my let's tone it down a little bit, because usually what I'll do is I'll get a quarter pounder with cheese meal, large, and a 6-piece nugget on the side, and that's my usual go-to.
I miss the dark meat nuggets. I know that's a weird thing. Like that's a throwback to like the 80s, but I miss that.
Well, I mean, that's the tastier meat. It's just not supposedly as good for you.
Oh, it's so good. It's where all the fat is. It's where the good
The
stuff
flavor
is.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do every Wednesday is fast food Wednesdays. The reason we did that was because um, my daughter had therapy on Wednesdays and it was right next to a Wendy's. So it used to just be Wendy's Wednesdays. But then, that therapist sucked. So we stopped going to her, but we just kept the.
Oh, yeah.
Kept
But
the
that
thing going.
gives you a little leeway to rotate the fast food.
No, my kids just want McDonald's now. Like they don't
Uh-huh.
like. I try and get Wendy's everyone because I'm a big Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich fan.
No.
But they are all about McDonald's.
I still need to try White Castle. This is not Wendy's or McDonald's, but I've never had White Castle because every time I say I need to have White Castle, you're like, they're not very good. And then you say, but
No,
you should try it once.
it's fine, and you should try it once. Next time you're here, we'll go to White Castle. It's like 15 minutes away.
No, I know. I drive by it on the way to your house.
Yeah. What is your favorite fast food breakfast? This was the question for this week's Trade Addicts pod.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, the only answer to me is McDonald's breakfast. I literally don't know if I've had anybody else's fast food breakfast.
I don't usually eat breakfast, but I guess McDonald's is the like. Well, they have what's the sandwich that they have the pancakes?
McGriddle.
Yeah, like I'll do that. Give me that with sausage and cheese and egg.
Sausage biscuit with egg is my absolute go-to. Their biscuits are so like there's probably a stick of butter in each of those biscuits. It's so good.
I think the best fast food breakfast I've ever had though was Popeye's chicken on the way back from Canton. 10 a.m.
That wasn't actually breakfast. It just happened to be the first meal we ate.
10 a.m. Popeyes is nothing hits like 10 a.m. Popeyes.
I once went 7 years without soda, and it was so funny. I remember everyone's telling me like, "Oh, you're gonna try soda and you're gonna hate it. It's gonna be too sweet." Nope, it was just as delicious as I remember.
That Paul, for me, when I played baseball, I cut out soda because in order for me to get in playing shape, I would have to lose about 10, 12, 15 pounds, but I couldn't get the last 5 pounds off unless I cut out soda.
Yeah, I cut out soda because I knew I would never change the way I ate, so I cut out soda.
Yeah.
But oh man, I went back to it. and I did not regret it. Well, I mean, I regretted it. Don't get me wrong; it's terrible for you, but it's so delicious. I miss it so much. I missed it so much.
So like now, if I have a really bad day at work and I get a migraine, I'll get a Mountain Dew, and that's like the only time I drink soda. So you can tell if I'm having a miserable day because I'll be sitting there with a Mountain Dew at my desk, but that's not very often.
Vanilla Coke? Is that what you get?
Vanilla Coke is the Canton Drive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Spicy McChicken and a McDouble smashed together. I used to make a McMonster, is what I called it. It was a McDouble with a McChicken. This was before they had spicy McChicken sandwiches, but they also used to have mozzarella sticks. So I would get a McChicken sandwich, a McDouble. You take the McDouble, drop it in there. You take the mozzarella sticks, you put it on there, then you close it. It was like I was making my own grease truck sandwich. So it was a cheeseburger, chicken sandwich, and mozzarella sticks. And it was like $4 because they were all off the dollar menu.
Oh man, you're making me miss when I cooked short order back in high school, where you just like fry everything and put it all together and have at it.
They absolutely still offer honey as a dipping sauce.
Yeah,
one of the things
you have to ask. Yeah. Honey is the best, especially like it's so good on fries. It's so good on nuggets. It's just beautiful.
Oh yeah. Big and Tasty and Jordan burgers were great. Jordan burgers.
I don't remember the Jordan burgers.
Have a burger?
The Big and Tasty wasn't that like the grown-up sandwich?
I remember it existed. I remember the name. I have no idea what it was.
There was some like they marketed it in like the early 90s that was I don't remember if it was the Big and Tasty or if it was something else, but they were like there was some because it was like it would come with all of the cold stuff on one side and all of the hot stuff like, and then you have to put them together.
The McDelight or something like that.
Is that what that was?
Something.
That's back when you get salad shakers at McDonald's.
Order fries without salt at McDonald's and you get fresh. Yeah, but then you get fries without salt on them. There you go. Aram had a McDonald's breakfast today.
What'd you get? Oh, bacon, egg, and biscuit. Yeah, sorry.
There you go. Yep.
See this? We should have brought Peter Howard on tonight just to read Dave's emojis. That was always like my favorite part of the grind was Peter trying to discern party hat guy heart, party hat guy heart, and Dave would give him like 15, 20 emojis and it would be beautiful.
Don't have one anywhere near me, but shout out to Tim Hortons. I've never been to a Tim Hortons.
They shut down all the Tim Hortons in Maine, or at least around here.
Yes, McDonald's hash browns. Like I've never found a hash brown like McDonald's hash browns.
Oh, yeah.
As a New Jerseyan, I feel like it's almost a sin to say, but I don't like everything bagels. It takes away from anything else that you're trying to eat with that bagel. Like, I don't know. It's too much for me. I would rather just give me an egg bagel, give me a plain bagel, give me cinnamon raisin with cream cheese. But if I'm getting bacon, egg, and cheese or something like that, it's just on a plain or on the egg bagel. Like, I don't want anything on the bagel itself. I don't know if that's sacrilegious or not.
No, that's fair. I like them. Like if I'm doing like a lox bagel, like I like an everything bagel with that. The lox, the cream cheese and capers. Like I like, but I don't blame you for with a sandwich or something.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like for a while, she wasn't pregnant at the time, but my wife had a huge they sell everything seasoning. Like she put that on her eggs and stuff like that, and I was just like, I don't want that. It's
a lot. Like it's a lot of salt, and then a lot of like the garlic, like granulated garlic.
Salt and garlic, I'd be fine. But to me, it's the seeds that carry so much flavor in them. the combination of poppy seeds and sesame seeds, I think, is really what gets to me. Like, I want one or the other. I don't want both.
Arch Deluxe was the one I couldn't think of.
Yes.
That was like a big deal for a while. That was like mid 90s though.
Yeah, my son has never drank soda. He will only drink water. Man, there might be as much sugar in Gatorade as there is in soda.
Oh, Harrison always wants Prime.
Oh, Ellie had such a huge Prime phase.
Yeah, I've never had it. Like, I understand that it's like Gatorade but spelled different, but like,
well, there's two. There is an energy drink version, and then there's a hydration version.
Yeah,
which is just like a sports drink. It's all way too sugary for me. Like,
yeah. Well, that's like if I go play basketball, like I have to bring like a tumbler like this, and then I'll get Gatorade, but I'll have like half of that filled with water and ice, and then I'll put Gatorade in it to cut it. But
just had the orange cream Coke Zero, pretty good. I would try that.
I don't want Coke Zero, but I want orange cream Coke. That was they had that for a while back.
Did they?
Yeah. I don't know if it was orange cream. It was orange Coke. I don't know if it was cream, but orange cream Coke sounds even better.
Well, Stewart's, I don't know if Stewart's is regional or not, but they make an orange cream soda that is just
amazing. That's see, now we're back to fantasy football. That's part of my, if I go to a live draft, I do a 4, you can get the 4-pack of Stewart's orange cream soda, and then I'll buy a package of cream horns, and then maybe some beef jerky, but that's optional. That just depends on how I'm feeling. But I've got to have the cream horns and the orange cream soda, and that's my go-to live draft snack. It's what I bring.
Low key really like the hash browns at Taco Bell. Their breakfast is underrated. I haven't had Taco Bell in probably decades. Big and Tasty actually had seasoned beef. McJordan Burger was a 1/4 pounder with a tangy barbecue sauce.
It should have been 0.23 pounds. Come on, marketing. Let's go. You know that people, they went with a 1/4 pound burger because people thought a 1/4 pound was bigger than a 1/3 pound.
A&W burger. A&W put out a 1/3 pound burger and it failed because people thought a 1/3 was smaller than a 1/4 because 4 is bigger than 3.
Yeah.
I am skeptical, to say the least. See, again, poppy seed by itself is fine in certain situations, but poppy seed and sesame seed together is too overwhelming for me.
That's fair.
Oh, you could put salt and pepper on everything. That's fine.
You should put pepper on basically everything.
Again, this is like Kaiser roll over any bagel. First of all, I disagree, but a Kaiser roll is, you want to go in and say, I want a sandwich, not I want a bagel sandwich. There are times where it's like, I want this food on a bagel, and a Kaiser roll won't do in those situations. But sometimes when you're just going out to a diner or something and you're like, you know what, just bacon, egg, and cheese. I don't need a bagel. Okay, put it on a Kaiser. Yeah, put it on a Kaiser. And usually they have poppy seeds on the Kaiser roll as well.
So I've been on a brioche bun kick. That's been my it's like a nice brioche, but it's like a burger bun size, but like brioche. It's that's where I've been lately.
Orange slice cans out of a vending machine were the most refreshing after football practice in the 80s. Oh yes, orange slice out of a vending machine.
Used to be able to get, just vending machines were great in the 80s, maybe early 90s, but like I remember Orange Slice, absolutely. I remember when I was younger, I had a key to the high school gym. This was before I got in high school. I had a key to the high school gym, and I had my own security code.
Mm-hmm.
And it would turn off the alarms for the gym, the hallway with the basketballs, and then half of the hallway with the vending machines.
Mm-hmm.
But I found out it didn't turn off the alarms and the motion sensors to the Yoo-Hoo vending machine.
Oh no.
Because I went to go get Yoo-Hoo one day, and all of a sudden there were like 3 police officers.
You got to get that chocolate drink.
That was it. Yeah.
Hold on, I want to see what we're preaching for Steve F. Nothing better with New Haven pizza than some Foxen Park birch beer or orange soda. I don't know about New Haven pizza or specifically Foxen Park birch beer, but there's some homemade birch beers around here which are just so good.
We get every now and then there are a couple like regional soda makers that will do it's like maple sap beer. So it's like it's I assume it's similar to a birch beer, but it's like maple sap is really subtle before you boil it down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that like subtle sweet. But
I mean, I would try it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
See, I definitely don't put ketchup on my egg sandwiches. I'm not that big of a ketchup person in general, because to me, ketchup overpowers the taste of everything that you put it on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just ketchup.
I'm reaching this point as well. My kids are awake and causing trouble. So we need to call it a night a little earlier than you're used to. I'm sorry, everybody. I know when Scott and Bob are here, they go much, much later than I can normally hang around for. But we need to call it a night at this point. We broke an hour. I think we did good.
Well, we talked a lot of fantasy football, a little bit of food, and you know, hung out with the chat. You guys are beautiful as always.
Yes.
I love this show and this chat specifically. Like, it's so much fun.
Yes, thank you all of you so much for making this just a joy. We are Fantasy Cares, but you all know that, fantasycares.org. Thank you, everyone, for helping us win Fantasy Sports Business of the Year at FSGA, the Fantasy Sports Gaming Association Awards, which is still so surreal. It's ridiculous. Hopefully you're not all too hungry. Go grab a snack. If you West Coasters, you're eating dinner at this point, so it's not that big of a deal. But us East Coasters, hopefully you don't give yourself a bellyache. I don't want to be responsible for your bad sleep and your belly aches. I would feel bad about it. So snack responsibly after this show. That's it for us tonight. I have to find a button to go out on. What button should we go out on? You know,
the third one.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Night, everybody.